Romulus and Remus are central figures in the founding myth of Rome. Legend states they were the sons of Rhea, Sylvia, and the god Mars. Abandoned on the Tiber River, they were rescued and nursed by a she-wolf. Subsequently, they were raised by a shepherd named Faustulus. Romulus founded the city of Rome in 753 BCE. This event occurred after a dispute between Romulus and his brother, Remus. The dispute culminated in Romulus killing Remus. Following this, Romulus established Rome on Palatine Hill. He also defined the city's original boundaries on this hill. Early Rome originated as a small settlement. It was initially surrounded by more powerful Etruscan cities. The region also included Greek cities, adding to the complex geopolitical landscape. This positioning made early Rome vulnerable. The settlement's geographical context played a crucial role in its early development and challenges. Romulus, the founder of Rome, sought to rapidly expand the city's population. To achieve this, he established an asylum, a place of refuge. This asylum offered sanctuary to exiles and refugees from surrounding areas. The promise of asylum attracted a diverse group of people to the nascent city. This influx of new inhabitants significantly contributed to Rome's early growth. The asylum policy played a crucial role in establishing Rome as a vibrant and populous center. Early Rome faced a significant shortage of women in its population. Romulus, the founder of Rome, sought to address this demographic imbalance. His solution involved the abduction of women from neighboring Sabine tribes. This event is historically known as the Rape of the Sabine Women. The Sabine women were forcibly taken as wives by the Roman men. For approximately 250 years, Rome was governed by a series of 7 kings. These kings played a crucial role in the initial growth and structuring of Rome. Their reigns significantly influenced Rome's early institutions. Each king contributed uniquely to the development of Roman society and governance. This period laid the foundation for Rome's future as a republic and empire. Romulus is recognized as the founder of early Rome. He played a key role in establishing the initial societal framework. Romulus also designated Rome as an asylum. The asylum status encouraged population growth by welcoming newcomers. This influx of people contributed to Rome's early expansion. Therefore, Romulus's actions were fundamental to Rome's initial development and structure. Numa Pompilius is credited with establishing key religious traditions in early Rome. He formalized Roman religious life through institutional changes. Numa created the role of Pontifex Maximus, the chief high priest of Rome. The Pontifex Maximus was responsible for overseeing religious practices and maintaining order. Numa also constructed the Temple of Janus, a significant religious structure. These actions collectively institutionalized and structured Roman religious life under his reign. Tullus Hostilius was a king of Rome who reigned after Romulus and Numa Pompilius. His reign is characterized by military expansion and warfare. A key achievement was the absorption of Alba Longa into Rome. This expansion significantly increased Rome's territory and power. Hostilius is also remembered for the legendary battle of the Horatii and Curiatii triplets, symbolizing Roman valor. Ancus Marcius significantly contributed to Rome's early development. He commissioned the construction of Rome's first bridge, improving connectivity. Marcius also founded Ostia, establishing Rome's port city for trade and naval operations. He expanded Rome's defenses, enhancing the city's overall security and stability. Tarquinius Priscus brought Etruscan cultural influences to early Rome. He initiated significant construction projects within the city. The Temple of Jupiter was one of the major religious structures he commissioned. Priscus also began construction of the Circus Maximus for public entertainment. He started the Cloaca Maxima, an extensive drainage system, to improve sanitation. Servius Tullius is credited with establishing Rome's initial constitution. He introduced the Centuriate Assembly, a significant political innovation. This assembly played a key role in Roman governance and military organization. Tullius also oversaw the construction of Rome's first defensive walls. These walls fortified the seven hills, enhancing the city's security and defining its boundaries. Tarquinius Superbus, dubbed the Proud, was the last king of Rome. He was known for his tyrannical rule and oppressive policies. His son's transgression against Lucretia sparked widespread outrage and rebellion. This revolt led to the overthrow of the monarchy and the establishment of the Roman Republic in 509 BCE. Early Rome exhibited a notable capacity for adaptability. This adaptability is evident in its absorption of Etruscan influences. Greek influences were also integrated into Roman society. The absorption of these cultures enriched Rome's own cultural identity. This cultural enrichment also extended to Rome's institutions. Early Rome established key foundations that would shape its future. These foundations included a strong emphasis on military discipline. Engineering played a crucial role in Rome's development and expansion. Roman law provided a framework for governance and social order. Religion was integral to Roman society, influencing its values and traditions. By the end of the monarchy, Rome's population was approximately 35,000. Roman society was structured around patriarchal family units. Religious observance was a key aspect of Roman life. The goal of religious practice was to maintain the Pax Deorum, or peace with the gods. The Roman Republic replaced the monarchy with a new system of governance. At the head of this republic were two consuls, elected annually. Each consul possessed the power of veto, allowing them to block the other's actions. This system of dual leadership and veto power was designed to prevent the concentration of power in one individual. In the early Roman Republic, consuls were supported by the Senate. The Senate functioned as an advisory council. It was composed of noble elders. The Senate provided counsel and stability, though it lacked legislative power. The early Roman Republic faced significant external threats. These threats primarily came from deposed kings seeking to regain power. Etruscan sieges also posed a major challenge to the Republic's stability. These combined threats endangered the survival of the nascent Republic. The Republic had to defend itself against both internal and external enemies. Overcoming these threats was crucial for the Republic's long-term success. Horatius Cocles is a legendary figure from the early Roman Republic. He is celebrated for his heroic defense of a bridge against enemy forces. His actions prevented the enemy from crossing the bridge and entering Rome. Cocles' bravery is seen as a symbol of Roman courage and resilience. His story embodies the values of self-sacrifice and dedication to Rome's safety. The early Roman Republic was characterized by a distinct division between social classes. The patricians, an aristocratic class, held significant political power and influence. In contrast, the plebeians, or commoners, were largely excluded from political decision-making. This exclusion led to social and political tensions within the Republic. Many plebeians faced economic hardship, often falling into debt bondage. Debt bondage further exacerbated social unrest and demands for political reform. The plebeians initiated Rome's first general strike due to lack of political representation. This action led to the establishment of the tribune of the plebs. Tribunes were officials specifically tasked with safeguarding plebeian rights. These tribunes possessed veto power, enabling them to block actions detrimental to the plebeians. Tribunes were declared sacrosanct, ensuring their personal safety and authority. The 12 Tables represent Rome's initial attempt at a written legal code. Its primary aim was to establish legal transparency within Roman society. However, the code still exhibited bias towards the elite social classes. This bias reflected the persistent social inequalities present during the early Republic. The early Roman Republic engaged in military conflicts to expand its territory. Wars were fought against various Italic tribes, including the Volsci and Aequi. The Sabines also posed a significant challenge to Roman expansion. The Etruscans, particularly the city of Veii, were major adversaries. Rome's conquest of Veii resulted in a substantial increase in its territory. Through these wars, Rome effectively doubled its territorial holdings in Italy. The Gallic sack of Rome occurred around 390 BCE. It was a traumatic event in Roman history. Legend says, sacred geese warned the Romans of the impending Gallic attack. The city was eventually sacked by the Gauls. After the sack, Rome was rebuilt with stronger defensive walls. Rome defeated the Latin League in a conflict during the early Republic. Following the victory, Rome integrated the Latin peoples into its expanding territory. This integration involved granting different levels of Roman citizenship to the Latins. This policy of graduated inclusion became a characteristic feature of Roman governance and expansion. The Licinian Sextian laws were a series of political reforms in the early Roman Republic. These laws aimed to address social inequalities between plebeians and patricians. A key provision allowed plebeians to hold the office of consul, previously reserved for patricians. The laws also opened up other important political and religious offices to plebeians. This increased access to power gradually integrated plebeians into Roman society. The reforms helped reduce class conflict and fostered greater social cohesion within the Republic. Rome engaged in a series of conflicts known as the Samnite Wars. These wars were fought against the Samnites, an Italic people inhabiting the central Apennines. The outcome of these wars resulted in Roman conquest and control over central Italy. This expansion solidified Rome's dominance across the Italian peninsula from coast to coast. Rome's expansion involved clashes with Greek cities in southern Italy, known as Magna Graecia. These conflicts were pivotal in Rome's growth and dominance in the region. The interactions led to Rome expanding its sphere of influence significantly. Magna Graecia became a key territory for Roman control and resource acquisition. The Greek city of Tarentum sought assistance from Pyrrhus of Epirus. Pyrrhus was a renowned general known for his military prowess and use of war elephants. Pyrrhus achieved several costly victories against the Roman forces. These victories came at a great price, leading to the term Pyrrhic victory. Despite his initial successes, Pyrrhus ultimately failed to halt the Roman expansion. The Roman Republic continued its growth, eventually dominating the Italian peninsula. Rome governed Italy through a confederation system. This system balanced military control with local autonomy. Varying degrees of citizenship rights were granted to different regions. This approach integrated conquered territories into the Roman state. The confederation ensured stability and resource management across Italy. Rome strategically established colonies to extend and solidify its control over conquered territories. These colonies served as both veteran settlements and crucial military outposts. Establishing colonies allowed Rome to reward its soldiers with land and new opportunities. This system of colonial settlement incentivized military service and loyalty to Rome. The colonies also facilitated the spread of Roman culture, law, and administration throughout the empire. Rome's involvement in Sicily marked a pivotal moment. This intervention was directed against Carthage, a major power in the region. The conflict triggered by this intervention is known as the First Punic War. The war represented a significant escalation of tensions between Rome and Carthage. It initiated a prolonged struggle for dominance in the Mediterranean. The First Punic War saw Rome rapidly develop its naval capabilities. Rome's navy was essentially built from the ground up during this conflict. A key innovation was the corvus, a boarding device. The corvus helped Rome challenge Carthage's existing naval dominance. Rome emerged victorious in the First Punic War. Sicily was the first province of Rome. Carthage was forced to pay a large indemnity to Rome. This victory marked Rome's rise as a dominant power in the Mediterranean. The Second Punic War is notable for Hannibal Barca's strategic invasion of Italy. Hannibal's army famously crossed the Alps, a significant military feat. The invasion involved the use of elephants, posing logistical challenges. This campaign inflicted substantial devastation on the Italian peninsula. The Second Punic War involved a series of major battles between Rome and Carthage. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, led his forces against the Roman Republic. The battles of Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae resulted in significant Carthaginian victories. These defeats inflicted heavy losses on the Roman armies. The Carthaginian victories brought Rome to the edge of defeat. The Second Punic War tested Rome's resilience through military challenges. Rome adapted by raising new armies to counter Hannibal's forces. Strategic leadership became crucial for Rome's survival. Fabius Maximus implemented delaying tactics to weaken Hannibal. These tactics aimed to wear down Hannibal's army over time. Fabius's strategy contributed to Rome's eventual success in the war. Scipio Africanus played a pivotal role in the Second Punic War through strategic military campaigns. His campaigns in Spain were designed to disrupt Carthaginian supply lines and weaken their forces. By campaigning in Africa, Scipio directly threatened Carthage, forcing them to divert resources. The diversion of Carthaginian resources weakened Hannibal's position in Italy. Scipio's strategies ultimately contributed significantly to Hannibal's defeat and the Roman victory. The Battle of Zama marked the final and decisive engagement of the Second Punic War. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, faced Scipio Africanus, the Roman commander, at Zama. Scipio decisively defeated Hannibal, leading to Carthage's ultimate defeat. Carthage was forced to relinquish its navy, overseas territories, and political independence. This victory solidified Rome's dominance over the Western Mediterranean region. Rome engaged in conflicts with and ultimately defeated Macedon. The Seleucid Empire also fell to Roman forces. These victories marked a significant expansion of Roman influence. Roman power extended into the eastern Mediterranean region. The defeat of Macedon and the Seleucids established Rome as a dominant force. Rome exerted its dominance over Macedon by dividing it into several republics. This division weakened Macedon's political and military power. Following the fragmentation of Macedon, Rome directly imposed its rule over Greece. This direct rule marked the end of Greek autonomy and self-governance. The establishment of Roman rule solidified Rome's control over the entire region. This control allowed Rome to exploit the resources and strategic location of Greece. The Third Punic War culminated in the utter destruction of Carthage. This war marked the end of a protracted rivalry. Carthage was a major power in the Mediterranean. The war permanently removed Carthage as a competitor. The late Roman Republic experienced a significant influx of wealth. This influx dramatically transformed Roman society. The transformation led to substantial economic shifts. Social structures and norms underwent considerable changes. Wealth, redistribution, and its consequences became central issues. The late Republic experienced a significant increase in the slave population. This abundance of slaves altered the dynamics of the labor market. The widespread use of slave labor led to decreased opportunities for free laborers. Social structures were also affected, creating tensions between different classes. The reliance on slave labor had long-term consequences for the Roman economy and society. Rural depopulation was a significant trend during the late Roman Republic. This migration led to a concentration of people in urban centers. Urban crowding resulted in increased social tensions and unrest. The influx of people strained existing resources within the cities. Urban infrastructure struggled to support the rapidly growing population. The late Republic era faced significant challenges in governing its expansive empire. The political system struggled to maintain effective control over its territories. Corruption became a pervasive issue, undermining the integrity of governance. Inefficiency within the political structure hindered effective decision-making and administration. These factors contributed to instability and weakened the Republic's foundations. The challenges highlighted the need for systemic reforms to address corruption and inefficiency. Governors in the late Roman Republic held significant power in their assigned provinces. These governors were often appointed from the Roman aristocracy. Many governors abused their authority for personal financial gain. Exploitation of provincial resources and populations was common. This corruption enriched the governors at the expense of the provinces they ruled. Such actions fueled resentment among the provincial populations towards Roman rule. During the late Republic, Roman generals began to amass personal armies. These armies were primarily loyal to their commanding general, not the state. The existence of personal armies undermined civilian control over the military. Generals could use their armies for political leverage and intimidation. This contributed significantly to the destabilization of the Roman political order. The rise of personal armies ultimately paved the way for civil wars and the end of the Republic. The Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, aimed to reform the Roman Republic. Their reforms primarily focused on land redistribution to benefit the poor. They also advocated for social welfare programs to assist impoverished citizens. These efforts to address social and economic inequalities faced strong opposition. The Gracchi brothers' reform attempts ultimately resulted in political violence and their assassinations. Generals Marius and Sulla significantly impacted the late Roman Republic. Their actions led to the militarization of Roman politics. This militarization established a dangerous precedent. It normalized military interference in civilian governance. This undermined the traditional authority of the Senate and civilian institutions. The actions of Marius and Sulla contributed to the Republic's eventual decline. Sulla's dictatorship marked a critical turning point in the Roman Republic. His march on Rome demonstrated a willingness to use military force in political disputes. This act challenged the long-standing norms of civilian governance. Sulla's subsequent assumption of dictatorial powers further eroded Republican principles. His actions set a precedent for future strongmen to seize control through similar means. The events highlighted the growing instability and vulnerability of the Republic. The First Triumvirate was a political alliance in the late Roman Republic. It consisted of Pompey, Crassus, and Julius Caesar. These three powerful figures joined forces to dominate Roman politics. Their alliance significantly altered the existing balance of power within the Republic. Caesar's conquest of Gaul led to a significant expansion of Roman territory. The conquest also greatly increased Caesar's personal power. Caesar's prestige and influence within Rome were enhanced by his military success. The Gallic Wars were instrumental in Caesar's rise to prominence. Caesar's decision to cross the Rubicon River was a pivotal moment in Roman history. This act defied the Roman Senate's authority and laws. Crossing the Rubicon was seen as an act of insurrection and rebellion. This action triggered a civil war within the Roman Republic. Ultimately, the Civil War led to the downfall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar's dictatorship marked a significant period in the late Roman Republic. His rule, though transformative, was met with resistance from elements within the Roman Senate. This culminated in Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, a pivotal moment in Roman history. The assassination was intended to restore the Republic, but instead triggered a new series of civil wars. These conflicts further destabilized the Roman political landscape, paving the way for the rise of the Roman Empire. The Second Triumvirate was formed by Octavian, Mark Antony, and Lepidus. This alliance emerged in the aftermath of Julius Caesar's assassination. The initial goal of the Triumvirate was to defeat Caesar's assassins. The Triumvirate successfully achieved this objective through military campaigns. However, the alliance was inherently unstable due to the ambitions of its members. Ultimately, the Second Triumvirate dissolved into internal conflict and power struggles. A conflict emerged in the late Republic between Octavian and Antony. Antony formed an alliance with Cleopatra of Egypt. This alliance intensified the power struggle with Octavian. The conflict was rooted in competing ambitions for control. The alliance between Antony and Cleopatra posed a significant challenge to Octavian's authority. The Battle of Actium was a decisive naval engagement in Roman history. It pitted Octavian against the combined forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Octavian's victory at Actium marked a turning point in the Roman Republic. Following the defeat, Antony and Cleopatra retreated to Egypt. Their subsequent suicides effectively ended their challenge to Octavian's power. This cleared the path for Octavian to consolidate his rule and establish the Roman Empire. Octavian's rise to sole ruler signified a pivotal moment in Roman history. This transition marked the end of the Roman Republic's established system. It simultaneously heralded the beginning of the Roman Empire. Octavian assumed the title of Augustus, becoming the first Roman emperor. This title conferred supreme authority and initiated a new era of imperial rule. The transition from republic to empire under Augustus reshaped Roman governance and society. Augustus established the Principate, a new form of Roman government. He carefully preserved the appearance of the Roman Republic. Augustus, however, held immense personal power within this system. This balance of facade and authority defined the early Roman Empire. The Principate system was established in the early Roman Empire. It represented a careful balance between traditional governance and autocratic rule. This balance aimed to provide stability to the empire. The system ensured stability by centralizing power. Power was primarily concentrated in the hands of the emperor. This concentration of power allowed for efficient decision-making and governance. Augustus reigned for 41 years, marking a period of significant transformation for the Roman Empire. His reign involved strategic military reductions to consolidate power and resources. Augustus implemented veteran settlements, providing land and stability for former soldiers. Tax reforms were enacted to stabilize the empire's financial structure. Augustus established organized postal services to enhance communication across the empire. He also created police services to maintain order and security within Rome. Augustus initiated large-scale building projects to improve Rome's infrastructure. These projects transformed Rome from a city of brick to one of marble, symbolizing its power and grandeur. Augustus prioritized securing the Roman Empire's borders. He focused on stabilizing both the western and eastern frontiers. In the west, Augustus aimed to contain Germanic tribes. This was achieved by pushing them beyond the Rhine River. On the eastern front, Augustus used diplomacy to maintain stable borders. Augustus finalized the Roman conquest of Spain during the early Empire period. This conquest marked a significant expansion of Roman territory and influence. The integration of Spain brought new resources and manpower into the Roman Empire. Roman administration and infrastructure were subsequently established across Spain. This integration solidified Roman control over the Iberian Peninsula. Augustus focused on solidifying the Roman Empire's borders. A key area of concern was the Danube River. The Danube served as a natural boundary. It separated Roman territory from barbarian lands. Augustus established a fortified frontier along the Danube. This strengthened defenses against potential invasions. Augustus ensured a stable succession to maintain the power of the Roman Empire. He strategically elevated his stepson, Tiberius, as his successor. This action formally established the Julio-Claudian dynasty. The Julio-Claudian dynasty would rule Rome for several decades. Augustus's choice of Tiberius was crucial for the empire's continued stability. Tiberius's rule was marked by increasing repression. Treason trials became a common tool of governance. These trials fostered an environment of widespread fear. Suspicion permeated the political and social landscape. The atmosphere during Tiberius's reign was one of intense distrust. Caligula succeeded to the imperial throne. His rule was marked by unpredictable and cruel behavior. Caligula's actions caused widespread fear and resentment. His reign was cut short by assassination. Caligula's assassination underscored the perils associated with unchecked imperial power. Claudius significantly expanded the Roman Empire, including the notable addition of Britain. He broadened political representation by admitting provincials into the Senate. Claudius extended Roman citizenship to people in the provinces. These policies integrated diverse populations, strengthening the empire's social fabric. Nero's early reign initially displayed potential for effective governance. However, his rule progressively deteriorated into a period of tyranny and oppression. This descent into tyranny sparked widespread discontent and revolts against his authority. The revolts were a direct consequence of his increasingly autocratic and cruel behavior. Facing overwhelming opposition and the collapse of his regime, Nero ultimately committed suicide. His suicide marked the end of his tumultuous reign and a period of significant unrest in Roman history. The Year of the Four Emperors was a period of turmoil in the Roman Empire. It occurred following the death of Emperor Nero. This period was marked by rapid succession and civil war. 4 emperors claimed the throne in quick succession. The instability ended with Vespasian's rise to power. Vespasian subsequently founded the Flavian dynasty, restoring order to the empire. Vespasian's reign marked the beginning of the Flavian dynasty. He successfully restored stability to the Roman Empire after a period of turmoil. Fiscal responsibility was reinstated under Vespasian's leadership. Vespasian initiated numerous public works projects to stimulate the economy. One of Vespasian's most enduring legacies is the commencement of the Colosseum's construction. These efforts collectively contributed to the revitalization of Rome during his rule. Titus faced significant challenges during his early reign. One notable event was the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. This disaster caused widespread devastation and suffering. Titus responded with compassion and decisive action. His efforts to aid the victims earned him popular support. This support solidified his position as emperor. Domitian's rule in the early empire was marked by significant military campaigns. These military efforts aimed to expand and secure the empire's borders. However, Domitian's policies and actions led to growing alienation from the Roman Senate. His autocratic style and perceived disregard for senatorial authority fueled this tension. The strained relationship with the Senate ultimately contributed to a conspiracy against him. Domitian's reign concluded with his assassination, marking a violent end to his rule. The adoptive succession system involved emperors choosing their successors through adoption. Nerva initiated this system by adopting Trajan as his successor. Trajan was the first emperor selected from outside of Italy. This marked a shift in the traditional Roman imperial lineage. The adoptive system aimed to ensure capable leadership by selecting the best candidate. Trajan was one of the adoptive emperors of Rome. He is known for significantly expanding the Roman Empire. Under Trajan, Rome reached its greatest territorial size. Trajan's conquests included Dacia, a region north of the Danube. He also expanded Roman control into parts of the eastern territories. Emperor Trajan initiated extensive welfare programs to support the Roman populace. These programs aimed to alleviate poverty and improve the quality of life for citizens. Trajan also launched massive infrastructure projects throughout the Roman Empire. These projects included the construction of roads, aqueducts, and public buildings. Improved infrastructure facilitated trade, communication, and overall economic development. Trajan's combined welfare and infrastructure initiatives significantly enhanced living conditions. Hadrian focused on consolidating the existing Roman Empire. He strategically withdrew from eastern conquests to streamline the empire's borders. A key aspect of his strategy involved constructing fortifications. These fortifications aimed to secure and defend the empire's established territories. Hadrian's Wall was constructed in Britain under the reign of Emperor Hadrian. The wall served as a physical demarcation. It marked the northernmost extent of the Roman Empire's territory on the island. The wall was a significant construction project undertaken to consolidate Roman control. It helped to define and defend the empire's frontier against incursions. Hadrian was one of the adoptive emperors known for significant contributions to Roman architecture. His reign saw the construction and renovation of numerous important structures across the Roman Empire. One of Hadrian's most notable architectural achievements is the Pantheon in Rome. The Pantheon showcases advanced Roman engineering and architectural design. Its innovative dome and use of concrete demonstrate the empire's mastery of construction techniques. Antoninus Pius reigned for a period of 23 years. His rule was characterized by peace and stability. The empire experienced a period of prosperity under his leadership. He focused on maintaining the existing stability of the Roman Empire. Antoninus Pius was one of the 5 good emperors of Rome. His reign is considered a golden age in Roman history due to its tranquility and economic success. Marcus Aurelius was one of the adoptive emperors of Rome. He is renowned as a Stoic philosopher and emperor. During his reign, the Roman Empire faced significant challenges. One major challenge was the Germanic invasions along the borders. Another significant crisis was the Antonine Plague. The Antonine Plague had a devastating impact on the empire's population and resources. The Antonine Plague was a devastating pandemic during the reign of the adoptive emperors. It resulted in the deaths of millions of people across the Roman Empire. The widespread mortality significantly reduced the empire's population. This demographic decline led to a weakening of the empire's economic foundations. The plague's impact highlights the vulnerability of ancient societies to disease outbreaks. Marcus Aurelius's decision to name his biological son Commodus as his successor marked a turning point. This choice deviated from the established practice of selecting emperors based on merit and ability. Commodus's reign was characterized by extravagance and brutality. His leadership style differed sharply from his father's philosophical approach. Commodus's actions contributed to the decline of the Roman Empire. Commodus's assassination triggered a period of instability. This instability was characterized by rapid turnover in imperial leadership. The quick succession of emperors created political uncertainty. Each new emperor faced challenges to their legitimacy and authority. This era of frequent leadership changes is a hallmark of the crisis. The political landscape became increasingly volatile and unpredictable. The crisis of the 3rd century saw increased military involvement in Roman politics. This interference led to political instability and frequent power struggles. The military's influence undermined the authority of the emperors. This destabilization contributed significantly to the empire's overall crisis. Septimius Severus was the first African-born emperor of Rome. His reign marked a shift towards a more militarized administration. Severus focused on strengthening the military and its role in governance. He also expanded the provinces, increasing Rome's territorial control and influence. Septimius Severus established a dynastic rule to secure succession. His designated heirs were his sons, Caracalla and Geta. This decision led to internal power struggles within the family. The power struggles between Caracalla and Geta threatened the stability of the empire. The Severus dynasty's internal conflicts contributed to the crisis of the 3rd century. The Constitutio Antoninana was a significant edict issued during Caracalla's reign. It extended Roman citizenship to all free men residing within the Roman Empire. This act had a profound impact on the empire's social and political structure. It aimed to unify the diverse populations under Roman rule. The edict also broadened the base for taxation and military recruitment. The Constitutio Antoniana is considered a landmark achievement of Caracalla's rule. The crisis of the 3rd century saw a series of emperors with varying degrees of competence and stability. Among these were Elagabalus, whose reign was defined by religious controversy and unconventional behavior. Alexander Severus followed, Facing significant military pressures and internal challenges, these emperors' reigns contributed to the overall instability and turmoil of the crisis of the 3rd century. The crisis of the 3rd century spanned roughly from 235 to 284 AD. This period was marked by political instability and frequent changes in leadership. The Roman Empire saw at least 26 emperors during this relatively short time frame. The era was further complicated by external invasions and internal civil wars. The crisis of the 3rd century was a period of significant instability in the Roman Empire. A key aspect of this crisis was a severe economic collapse. This collapse involved widespread economic hardship and disruption. The economic turmoil contributed to the fragmentation of the empire. The crisis of the 3rd century was a period of instability in the Roman Empire. This crisis resulted in the emergence of breakaway regions. Gaul and Palmyra became independent realms during this time. These secessions significantly weakened the central Roman authority. Claudius II, Gothicus, and Aurelian played key roles in restoring Roman unity. Claudius II Gothicus achieved victories against the Goths. These victories helped stabilize the Roman Empire's borders. Aurelian focused on reclaiming breakaway regions. His efforts brought these territories back under Roman control. Together, they solidified the empire and paved the way for the Tetrarchy. Aurelian initiated the construction of new city walls in Rome. The primary purpose of these walls was to bolster Rome's defenses. This enhancement was specifically targeted against potential barbarian invasions. The Aurelian walls represent a significant upgrade in Rome's protective infrastructure. Diocletian addressed the crisis by establishing the Tetrarchy. The Tetrarchy involved dividing the Roman Empire. This division created a system with 4 emperors. 2 senior emperors were designated as Augusti. 2 junior emperors were designated as Caesars. This structure aimed to stabilize and more effectively govern the vast empire. The Tetrarchy divided the Roman Empire into 4 administrative regions. Each region was governed by a separate emperor. Each emperor ruled from their own designated capital city. This system reduced the political and economic importance of Rome. Administrative reforms involved restructuring governance. Provinces were subdivided to improve management. Civil and military powers were separated. This separation aimed to prevent abuse of power. Diocletian reformed the Roman military to address internal and external threats. A key aspect of this reform was a significant increase in the size of the Roman army. This expansion aimed to provide greater manpower for defense and maintain order. The larger army enhanced Rome's ability to respond to barbarian incursions along its borders. The increased military strength supported Diocletian's efforts to stabilize the empire during the Tetrarchy. A new tax system was implemented during the period of recovery in Tetrarchy. This new system mandated that taxes be paid in kind. Payment in kind refers to paying taxes with goods or services rather than money. This shift had a significant impact on the economic landscape of the time. The system affected production, distribution, and trade. The in-kind tax system aimed to ensure resource availability for the state. Diocletian's rule marked a period of heightened state intervention. This intervention extended into both economic and social spheres. The state exerted greater control over various aspects of daily life. One notable aspect was the implementation of hereditary professions. This policy bound individuals to their family's trade or occupation. Diocletian attempted to stabilize the economy through price controls. The implementation of price controls was intended to curb inflation and economic instability. However, these price controls ultimately failed to achieve their intended purpose. The failure indicates the complexities of economic management in that era. Diocletian initiated the Great Persecution. The Great Persecution was the Roman Empire's most severe anti-Christian campaign. The persecution aimed to suppress Christianity within the empire. It involved various measures to punish Christians. These measures included imprisonment. These measures also included execution. Diocletian voluntarily retired from his position as emperor. This action was unprecedented in Roman history. The tetrarchy system, established by Diocletian, faced challenges after his retirement. Dynastic conflicts and power struggles emerged among the tetrarchs. These conflicts ultimately led to the collapse of the tetrarchy system. Constantine emerged as the sole ruler after a period of civil wars. The conclusion of these conflicts marked a significant turning point in Roman history. Constantine's victory enabled him to consolidate his authority over the empire. This consolidation brought an end to the internal strife that had plagued Rome. His reign ushered in a new era of centralized power and imperial stability. Constantine allegedly had a vision before the Battle of Milvian Bridge. This vision led to Constantine embracing Christianity. The Battle of Milvian Bridge was a pivotal moment in Constantine's life. His conversion had significant implications for the Roman Empire. The Edict of Milan was a pivotal decree in early Christian history. It marked a significant shift in the Roman Empire's policy towards Christianity. The edict granted legal status to Christianity, recognizing it as a legitimate religion. It effectively ended the persecution of Christians within the Roman Empire. The edict also mandated the restitution of property confiscated from Christians. This restitution aimed to restore the Christian community's assets and rights. Constantine established Constantinople as a new capital city. The city was founded upon the site of Byzantium. Byzantium's location was strategically advantageous. This strategic positioning was key to Constantinople's future. Constantine's choice ensured the city's prominence. Constantine continued many existing economic reforms. He also introduced a new, stable gold currency. This currency was known as the solidus. The solidus was intended to stabilize the economy. The introduction of the solidus aimed to promote trade. These measures were part of Constantine's broader efforts to strengthen the empire. Constantine adopted a policy of favoring Christians. His approach did not involve the complete suppression of paganism. This strategy aimed to strike a balance between different religious interests. The emperor sought to integrate Christian beliefs while respecting existing pagan traditions. This careful balancing act defined Constantine's religious policy. Following Constantine's death, the Roman Empire faced internal strife. Religious controversies continued to be a source of conflict. Julian the Apostate briefly ruled during this period. Julian is known for his attempt to revive paganism. His efforts marked a departure from Constantine's Christian policies. However, Julian's reign and pagan revival were short-lived. Theodosius. I played a crucial role in the history of Christianity and the Roman Empire. Under Theodosius I, Christianity was declared the official state religion of the Roman Empire. This decision marked a significant turning point in Roman history. The declaration transformed Roman society, impacting its culture, laws, and institutions. Pagan practices were outlawed under Theodosius I. This marked the end of centuries-old Roman religious traditions. The outlawing signified a major shift in Roman religious policy. This transition occurred post-Constantine. Theodosius I's decree had a profound impact on the religious landscape. Theodosius faced significant external threats during his reign. These threats included invasions by Gothic tribes. The Goths posed a considerable military challenge to the Roman Empire. Theodosius adopted a strategy of integrating barbarian troops into the Roman army. This integration aimed to bolster Roman forces and manage the Gothic threat. Christianity significantly reshaped cultural norms and social values. This transformation had a profound impact on urban development. Theodosius's reign marked a period of increasing Christian influence. This influence extended to various aspects of urban life and planning. The Theodosian era saw the rise of influential Christian thinkers. Figures like Ambrose contributed significantly to theological discourse. Jerome's work on biblical translation and scholarship was highly impactful. Augustine's philosophical and theological writings shaped Christian thought profoundly. The Roman Empire was formally divided under Theodosius. This division was enacted between Theodosius's two sons. Arcadius inherited the Eastern Roman Empire. Honorius was given control over the Western Roman Empire. This split marked a permanent administrative and political change. The Roman Empire was formally divided into Eastern and Western halves. This division, initiated by Theodosius, led to vastly different trajectories for each empire. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, experienced continued prosperity. The Eastern Empire maintained economic stability and successfully repelled many invasions. In contrast, the Western Roman Empire faced significant challenges. The Western Empire struggled with constant invasions and a severe economic decline, ultimately leading to its fall.